And the day dawned, when the spawn of the serpent took to arms, when the crimes of countless days must be counted and atoned for, horn by horn, fang by fang. And the sinners wept with blinded eyes, they moaned with severed throats, they fled on fractured limbs, and Symbaroum fell into dreamless sleep. There has been a breach of one of the ancient taboos. Uldo, a young goblin from the barbarian village of Lobaram, has in an attempt to prove himself worthy decided to guide a group of Ambrian explorers into one of the ancient ruins in the Davokar forest. Knowing that these ruins are grounds tabooed by the Huldra, his older brother Uhuglas, who has been honored with the title of the chieftain's personal guard, is very ashamed of his brother's actions. He, along with the village witch, Algaya, have decided to take things into their own hands in order to try and stop Uldo before it's too late. Together with Algaya's fierce animal familiar, Mortia, the boar, they have traveled for a few days. However, there has been no sign of the rascal Uldo and the Ambrian company, and now Uhuglas, Algaya and Mortia are standing at the outskirts of the ruins, the ancient grounds where no one from the tribe have set foot, and the risk of suffering heavy corruption from whatever dark force might be lurking in there. This is Red Moon Roleplaying.
We are actually jumping right to the heart of the Symbaroum setting, the forest of Davokar and one of its many ruins. And you have traveled for a good 2 days through the bright parts of the woods to this area which you know of, but you have never visited it. You know, there is nothing speaking about it in the legends of your people. There are many such ruins, and this one is tabooed. It's said to be corrupted, and I believe that Algaya is a bit curious about the place.
That's very right. I'm a relatively young witch. I'm just 24 years old, and I've only been the village witch for a relatively short time, maybe hardly a year, because the passing of the elder, the previous village witch. And of course you, Uhuglas, having been a part of the village for quite a while, you've always heard the witches tell very harshly that you're not allowed to visit the tabooed areas. But during this journey, you've actually seen a bit of excitement from my side. And well, I may be young, but I've also been very, very harsh in expressing my opinion that these grounds tabooed by the Huldra, they are not to be taken lightly. You will awaken the darkest forces in the forest if you trespass. But something now is almost changing, something that looks like enthusiasm as we are getting closer.
You actually don't know Uhuglas. You're a bodyguard of the chief. You have had lots of dealings with Algaya, but you wouldn't call her a friend.
No.
Because
no.
I mean, she's something else. She's a bit higher up. And,
yes.
Yeah. So you were a bit curious when she offered to follow you in the pursuit of your brother. Maybe it is just because she wants to be there to capture him and to punish him directly for his transgressions against the taboos.
Yes.
Or maybe her interest is something else than your brother.
Well, I hope not. I very much believe, as I've been told, that these places are taboo and forbidden, and I don't care what's in them. Why would I care? I'm very content with my place and a good bit of food by the fire at night and some warmth. That's all I need in life, and the honor of serving my tribe. But I will trust in my chief. He allowed this to happen, and I trust in the words of my elders.
Right. So on the eve of the second day of travel northeast through the woods towards the river of Malgomor, you come upon this site, which is laid out before you in a clearing that is surrounded by something that probably was a wall of stone once that now has crumbled and been overgrown. But the area inside this clearing is strangely free from vegetation. And it's quite dark now that you arrive, and I imagine that you arrive somewhere here on the south side, I imagine, of the ruin. You come through the forest and you come at this huge wall of soil and stone and rubble, and you see that there are structures beyond it.
I very quickly stop. I look around. Is it possible for me to get a bit of a vantage point, perhaps clambering up a bit of a tree and just seeing if I can get a better view of this area? I don't want to go into things and...
You don't want to scale the summit of the wall, but rather a tree.
No, I don't, because I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to get near. I almost stop like there's an invisible barrier to me, and yes, a tree.
And you know, of course, that once you set foot on this slope, you are entering tabooed area.
I stop as well as you stop, and I say, "We're here, Uhuglas. This is the place."
It is dead silent.
And I listen in the silence, and my hand strokes the rough, coarse mane of my wild boar familiar. "Yes, Mortia, we're here. Do you smell anything? Do you smell any more goblins about?"
I sort of hush you a little, like... But I do a little hand gesture, because I'm like, no noise, no noise.
Halfway up tree trunk, you stop and give orders to the village witch, and then you continue climbing, I assume.
I give you a harsh look, as in, who does he think he is?
Internally, I do think to myself that was perhaps harsher than it should have been. But I'm used to being out here and having people almost follow my orders. I have a high standard, and most of the time I'm leading the team, but I let it go. It's not important, not important.
So you continue scaling that tree up into to get some kind of vantage point to see what's beyond the wall. And you telepathically commune with your familiar, this wild boar that you have at your side.
Mortia.
Yeah, she has placed herself between you and the wall, and is continuously looking up as if she is expecting something horrible to come at you. Both of you can roll a vigilant test and you do it for Mortia.
19.
This is for me. I roll 17, far over.
Yeah.
Mortia gets 10.
That's good, because while Uhuglas is climbing and is constantly trying to find somewhere in the crown of the tree where you can actually see something, and failing. And you, I imagine you're listening or...
Listening intently. I'm disturbed by the creaking of the pine as Uhuglas is making his way up. And I can't seem to focus. I wonder what will happen if I take one more step forward.
Mortia would not say that's a good idea, because inside, as an echo in your head, you hear her whisper, darkness ahead, corruption. I feel the scent of corruption in the air.
I see, Mortia. Well done. And I try to feel it myself, and I try to use my witch sight to pierce this darkness and see what exactly is waiting ahead of me.
I would like you to roll another vigilant test together with your witch sight ability. So 7 or less, please. In this case, you are just using your witch's senses to try to appreciate the situation and where you are in the woods. And
what is this that somehow Mortia feels that I do not?
You try to pick up on that sense of darkness and corruption that Mortia claims that she is sniffing in the air, but nothing yet. Maybe if you come over the summit of the wall.
I'm thinking to myself, that's nonsense, Mortia. There's nothing here.
Actually, Uhuglas. Because darkness is falling, you have a hard time seeing if something is moving around inside, but you get kind of a clear view of this area. And it may be a gust of wind making one of the bushes on the ground ruffle, but you're quite certain that you see some kind of movement in this area.
I start to clamber back down the tree. I am not happy.
To get a really good view of what's happening inside the ruin area, you should probably try to get closer. On the other hand, it's maybe risky as well, especially if Mortia is right.
There is something here, but we have no choice. We did come here to investigate and to get that rascal Uldo out, after all.
Yes, perhaps maybe we should find someone just a little closer, but just a little. After all, if they were here, where are their torches? Night is falling. Perhaps we've actually beaten them here, and they haven't arrived yet.
I'd start moving upwards the slope, and I say, maybe you saw another vantage point further in.
But not too far from it. We shouldn't go too far. Maybe try and move along a little more in this direction, where it seems the wall at least lowers a little, and maybe then I can see over.
No, I think we should go up here. There is some sort of structure just ahead of us. Perhaps we could see anything from there. And I start moving upwards.
I almost want to sort of hold out a hand, and I stop myself, and I'm like...
Mortia grunts. She follows you, but stays ahead of you, because she knows where you're going. You commune telepathically all the time.
Where is it, Mortia? Where is this darkness?
I sort of swear a little to myself, and I just follow very slowly.
So you're starting to reach the level where you can see over the top of the sloping wall, and you continue forth.
Yes. I await any other alert from Mortia.
Roll a vigilant for her again.
14 out of 10.
I will tell you if she says something. How about you?
Yes, I move forwards a little, but I'm very cautious, but I'm used to things coming at me rather than having to go to them. I suppose maybe I sniff the air a little. Do I smell anything?
Okay, roll. D20, 10 or below.
3.
There is a scent of something in the air that is kind of surprising. It's smoke, like from a campfire or a torch. No, not the torch, like more like from a campfire. It's faint. Being quite used to moving around in the wilds, you have a bit of a grips of the winds and the orientation and so on. Roll a vigilant test again. Scouting the area. That's a success, right? Because now the darkness has fallen, you're not sure, but it could very well be that there's some kind of flickering, very faint light showing.
On the north side?
Yeah, up here in one of the cracks. One of the...
I pause and I whisper, which? Over there, the north side of the walls. North side, let's go round. And I think that I smell maybe a fire, maybe a campfire.
Oh, you may be right.
Roll a vigilant test as well. A 1. You stop yourself short of finishing the sentence because there's something like running through you from top to toe, a chill that you have never felt before. And because you were letting your eyes play over the dusk before you, there is a shape here moving around. You don't know if it's human or if it's animal or if it's indeed living, but it radiates vile corruption.
Wow.
Suddenly, as soon as it stops, you cannot see it anymore because of the darkness that is falling over the area.
And I cut myself off in the sentence. You probably noticed this as well. And I'm not looking at the place you were pointing, but rather on the open plain in front of us, sort of the open space between the big building and the towers.
You could actually, because you know that there was something there that your witch senses reacted to, you could try to read it, because your witch sense obviously isn't dependent on light. So you could reach out with your senses to the cost of a temporary corruption point and try to read the aura, if there indeed is one to be read.
I lick my lips with a bit of excitement. And yes, I try to pierce through.
Actually, you don't have to roll for it, because this whatever it is, when you reach out with your senses, you get a feeling that it is not interested in trying to hide itself, or trying to be discreet, or trying to avoid being detected. The aura it's hard to describe. The auras, or the shadows, as you witches often call it, of creatures are kind of distinct based on their habitat and what kind of soul they have. What you are reading before you, it's a shadow that looks like fully corroded, acid-stained, darkened copper, like metallic copper. And based on what you know from before, that probably means that this is an Ambrian creature that has been fully corrupted by something.
So this may be one of the Ambrians that were let here?
On the other hand, Ambrians always scour these areas of the forest for unlooted ruins. But yeah, probably Ambrian, probably something terrible has happened to it.
And I say, over there's an Ambrian creature. It's been fully corrupted by this place. There's a shadow about it. It stinks of copper.
Well, good. We avoid it then. Come, into the cover of the trees. We go round through the forest and find out what's in that tower. We avoid this thing.
And what trees are that exactly, little goblin, that you think we could hide amongst? This is an open plain. Maybe we can walk around it, hiding behind those rocks. I do admit it's tempting to see it closer, though. Do I feel that it's dangerous? Or?
Absolutely. This is probably very, very dangerous. But I mean, you're a capable witch and he's a capable bodyguard, so you're looking at it and you notice that you have actually, your hand has found its way into the pouch where you keep your Ambrian crystallized sugar. So not knowing it, you have put the sweets in your mouth and looking at the tempting darkness ahead of you.
I look at Mortia and I say, was this what you felt, my dear? Is this the creature that you felt?
She's so focused on the being and the area ahead of her that she doesn't even respond, but you get the sense that most probably, yeah.
Yes, I think we should have a look.
I am very torn between, again, commanding that it is far more important to move round and avoid this, but I cannot. She is a witch of the tribe. I cannot.
I mean, that thing will probably not go anywhere.
It's sort of in vigil. It's staying there.
From what you can see, your witch sight or witch senses has toned out by now, but it was still. It was more like part of the ruin.
Well, then it's a part of the chance to see something that I've never seen before, and maybe I will never see again. Well, let's just have a closer look. And I start moving up with Mortia a little bit in front of me.
I start to follow with my spear ready. I have to protect the witch. I'm not happy.
You're walking down the slope. The being or the thing, the abomination, or indeed, if it is like you think, the blight-born human should be somewhere in this area. Looking up as darkness falls, it becomes more and more evident that light is shining out through cracks on the second floor of this tower.
The northernmost cracked tower.
Yeah.
I see something there now as well, then that must be what you pointed at before.
So, do you continue moving ahead?
What do I feel? I mean, is it...
Actually, you both start to hear it now. It's like this growling, hungering, almost sobbing from starvation, what is ahead of you. And from what you can hear and see and feel, it hasn't noticed that you are here yet. But you can be very sure that once it does, it will make its presence known to you. From what you know from the legends and the stories, and one of the most important jobs for you as witches is to try to put these dark aspects of embodied corruption back to sleep, often meaning killing them. So this is a really important task for you. On the other hand, it's a very, very dangerous task. And most often it's the keeper, the clan witch that is called upon. And most often the clan witch will call on the Iron Pact, which is the elven order that is residing in this area, who are specialized on hunting down abominations and aspects of dark Davokar. So although killing that thing, whatever it is kind of your job, but you are not quite sure that you are ready for it.
As we move up towards this tower, and I see it and I feel it and I now hear it as well, my curiosity is suddenly dampened by a strike of fear, feeling this creature and seeing it so close by.
Once those feelings start spreading through you, you feel that Mortia is starting to relax a bit, and you feel her responding with some kind of gratitude towards you.
I think maybe this is a job for the Iron Pact. It's my duty to report it, surely, but this is not going anywhere. And then my gaze flickered between the place where I saw this shadow before and the actual campfire up there. And I look at Uhuglas and I say, I think this might be over our heads. Let's wait, and I'll call upon the Iron Pact when I've come back to the village.
I nod very happily in agreement. Our mission is not this, and I would personally rather have at least 5 strong, 10 strong warriors behind me now than just be by myself. I just nod and sort of, with my spear, hold it up and just motion to the tower like,
I nod to you, Uhuglas. We are in the same boat here. And I start moving backwards. Let's circle around the entire area, perhaps, and then come up on the tower.
I snort a little and eagerly begin to try and stealthily do just that.
Yeah, stealthily. Good thing you said it. I would like both of you to roll for discreet and tell me if you succeed or if you fail, by how much.
I succeed by 3. Should I roll for Mortia as well?
Yeah, you should.
Huh. She fails by 5.
By 5, okay.
I fail by 4.
By 4, okay. You start moving back and you make your way over the wall, up the slope and then down the slope, and you are back in the woods and start to move along the perimeter. From here you can see that there is some kind of opening. Maybe you can actually see the ground, but there's no indication that this creature have taken note of you and is coming for you. So you actually, without any hint of a threat from either within or without, probably all wildlife is kind of staying away from this area. So you make it around to the outside of the wall. Of course, you saw that there's a way into the tower from inside the wall, and also there's this window that you probably could reach from the top of the wall.
I am hesitant to touch the wall itself, but I see no other option, and I suppose I shall look to the witch and begin to move to the wall to slowly and carefully try and ascend.
I lick my lips where the small remnants of a crystallized sugar is, still feeling a bit sweet on my tongue, and I nod for Uhuglas to start moving up and take the lead.
Yeah. So you're heading for the window. Getting up the slope is no problem. I assume you take it slow and...
Yes, I am not the most agile of beings, I'll admit it. I'm more quick and strong, so I always approach things in a calm, methodical manner when I can, and I'm not being chased by some wild beast.
Exactly. In this case, you probably have good reasons to try to stay out of the awareness of the thing in the ruin, and also from whomever is hiding out or staying in the tower. You have concluded that this window will get you into the second level, and the light is shining through cracks and openings on the third. So you get to the window frame, and it's open. It looks sturdy enough.
I smell the air again.
It's evident that someone is having a bit of a campfire going on the floor above where the window is.
And I sent a signal back to the witch with my hand that she would know is me indicating inside.
Yes, let's go inside. But of course Mortia couldn't climb in through the window, so I will start making my way down on the other side of the slope to go in through the door.
All right.
And I'm waiting you to perhaps have a look inside the window. But you see, there's no one there. Did you start to see there's no one there?
I believe there is no one on this floor as I poke my head through the window.
Yeah, you poke your head in and look around. Please roll a vigilant test again. 10 or less.
1.
You gaze through the... It's dark in here, but something glimmers as you gaze down at the floor, and there's a bear trap just below the window on the inside.
I notice this. This is signs that they are in here. I begin to climb through the window very...
Yeah, there's no problem to avoid it for you, but you are making your way down.
Yeah, as I am looking at him as he's looking in. Do you do any more signs when you go in?
Yes, I make a little crab claw motion indicating
A trap.
Ah, yes. And that makes me alert as well to look out a little bit extra for potential traps along the way, and as I would come inside.
Yeah, inside the window and inside the door there are of course some debris, like leaves and stuff that has blown in here, and now that you know that it's there, it's obvious that someone has arranged that debris to hide something that you probably shouldn't step on, as well as Mortia shouldn't step on it. So,
but there's no guard around there.
There's nothing indicating that there's a person on this floor or your floor. It's too dark for you to see more than like a few yards in, but
I see this a neatly arranged pile, and I smile to myself, feeling superior in every way, and I move around it with Mortia.
Yeah, no problem moving around it. None of you try to disarm it, or?
I probably don't use traps, really. I'm a hunter.
I'm just asking because, of course, in this case, it might be a good idea to just try to avoid it because disarming it might cause some sound. I would like you, as you jump down to the floor on the other side of the window, and to roll a quick test, please.
I skillfully land on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. And you and Mortia navigate around. You press yourself against the door frame and go past. And do you light any kind of, because it's dark in here now?
I wait a moment and I look upwards and I see if in this darkness there's any indication of some of the light from upstairs coming down here.
No, because there's a stone below you. There's obviously a stone floor on this level, probably the same on the next one. And obviously there must be some kind of way up, but maybe he or she who's up there has covered that with something thick enough not to let any light through.
I will risk a small light in my lantern, but I make sure to cover it a lot so it's only illuminating, hopefully, the area directly in front of me.
As we are getting closer to what might be an encounter, I put on my bark mask, my traditional bark mask. It's a nicely painted bark mask with the colors of red in the forehead and lines drawn around the eyes.
For you, when he lights the lantern upstairs, you can clearly see a staircase going along the inside of the wall and up onto his level. Problem is if you make too much of a sound or do something to draw attention to yourselves. I mean, that this is not very far. It's, what can it be, like 100?
From the shadow being?
Yeah. And who knows, maybe he stopped when you were there and it is now roaming around, you don't know. So, but a little bit of light can be a good thing.
I see. So I see the light from upstairs and I think, it must be him lighting up a lantern. And then I move up along the staircase that I see.
Yeah, you do. And once you're up there, you see that after a bit of the stair continues up the wall, and what you see, it's like 4 meters up, where the stair reaches the next level. There's a wooden hatch that has been closed, and probably because it looks like a very old one that is kind of falling apart, but obviously someone has placed something on it as well, because no light is coming down through the cracks in there.
Seeing the witch come to me, and now I can see the stair and this hatch, I put the lantern out again.
Yeah, okay. You have one problem here, and that's Mortia, because she's got feet that makes clickety-clockety noise on stone. So if she fails to sneak upwards, you will be heard from up above.
I give her a gentle hold on her head as I start moving upwards, telling her telepathically that she should stay.
You brave the stairs. You first.
Yes.
Okay, you come up to the wooden something. Do you give it a...
I stop for a moment, and I feel around my neck for my whistle. Now my whistle, obviously when blown, does not sound like a whistle. It sounds like a horse pigeon.
Yeah?
And Uldo would know this sound. He's very familiar with it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, if I can risk a sound, one sound, at least he would know what it was, and any individuals otherwise would assume it was a bird of some kind. But
while thinking, pondering the situation, you hear something from up above. It's a kind of humming song.
I listen, do I? Does this mean anything to me? A song?
You notice that he starts to listen, and you can actually hear it too. As a witch, you are quite sure that this is just ordinary singing. It's not someone doing a chant or a spell or something. It's someone. Actually, can you roll vigilant for me, please?
I'm surprised how relaxed someone is up here.
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. While the witch is surprised that the person is very relaxed, you hear a distinct quiver, nervous quiver in the humming, like if this person is desperately humming in an attempt to calm. You're quite sure herself.
And I think, it's very calm. Well, and it's just one voice up there. And I reach out my hand to just give a knock on the hatch.
It becomes dead silent up there.
The witch might not be able to see it in the darkness, but I am scowling in her direction.
Yes, I might feel it, but I'm saying, hello, visitor of this dark place. We, too, are just visitors here. We mean no harm. Who is up there?
Silence.
Who is up there? Who are you? We are travelers from the village of Lobaram, seeking a company of Ambrian explorers who have trespassed on this ground.
Yeah. Come up. Quick. Then close the hatch.
And I mentioned for you to open it.
I open the hatch and slowly poke my head up.
When you open the hatch, and you're like this high, and you're human size, so standing a couple of steps apart, you're about the same height, looking up, and you see this young woman, maybe your age, maybe a couple of years younger, dressed in obviously Ambrian explorers. It's meant to be practical and sturdy, but someone has put a lot of effort into making it stylish as well. So your first thought, having met Ambrian travelers on the road to Karvosti, this is probably some kind of noble that has gotten into exploring Davokar because it's, very exciting for the nobles of Ambria to scour the ruins and find artifacts and then brag for their peers in the society saloons of Indaros. And she has a sword also in her hand, but from the way she's holding it, you're quite sure she don't know how to use it at all.
Before the witch can say anything, I have my spear out.
Come up,
I
come
move
up.
forwards, and I say, "Where is Uldo?"
Put that sword down immediately.
This is a sphere.
Close the hatch. Put the... Yeah, okay. It's a spear. Put the weapon down. Close the hatch. Sit down and shut up. Now!
I try to sort of go in between and sort of put away the weapons, and I no.
You are trespassing on my turf.
A young Ambrian, I see. Yes, a young noble Ambrian, perhaps.
Let me just say that what you are seeing in this room is like a room that is half the tower, and then there's an opening, and there's another room or several other rooms in the other half of the tower.
So I've mentally signaled for Mortia to come up and join us as well.
Clickety clackety clickety clackety.
And I
Yeah,
will
she
then-
comes up the stairs.
I let the familiar up.
Yeah.
I close the hatch carefully. I lower my weapon and I immediately just start trying to scout the other rooms. I am paying no attention now.
No,
to...
don't go in there.
I ignore
Sit
her.
down!
I completely ignore her and just start looking.
Okay, so you walk through the opening. It is very dark in here, but there's enough light for you to see that there is someone lying on the floor at the back of the room that you're entering, bound by the feet and hands behind the back and with a bag over the head. And it's not your brother. It's someone taller, but there's something strange. It's hard to see in the darkness. Don't mind her. Don't mind her. Come here. Come here. She's starting to relax a little bit, but she's still obviously annoyed by the fact that you are not obeying her.
And
She has a little campfire going, and she has dried meats and stuff that probably very expensive and not very nourishing traveling rations. Come here right away,
Let's talk to
you
the...
goblin.
Yes, let's talk to the nice young lady. What a pleasure to meet a venerable person such as yourself out on these roads. And I sit down next to Mortia and signals for her to lie down next to me as well.
By all means, sit. A pig, really?
This is my friend Mortia, and I am Algaya. How come you have traveled to these parts of the woods?
She's constantly looking back and forth from you and over her shoulder to see what this guy is.
Come now, Uhuglas, come join us.
I will walk over. Have I now, though, at least I looked in that one chamber. Was there any other alcoves or chambers?
No, this level of the tower is obviously 2 rooms. The stairs to the very next level, which seem to be raised, is in that other room. But there's no furnishing or like anything, so no.
I move over. I go into a neutral stance. I look at this woman and I spit on the floor and sit.
She only huffs and puffs a bit, as if she cares what you think of her. Okay, you're here to help me, I assume?
Yes, well, we are here looking for the brother of my companion here. Have you perhaps seen any other goblins move about in the area?
Yeah, our guide.
Where is he?
Maybe this creature's brother, maybe?
What did he do to you, I wonder? I say, smiling.
Nothing at all. Okay, maybe it was foolish of us to... Oh, I just want to go home. Can you please take me home? I can pay you handsomely.
I lower my spear again and I go, where is he?
That thing.
Yes!
Yeah, he's there. She points towards the other room, and probably beyond that room, somewhere inside the ruins.
Oh, he's still here in the ruins.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there are so many of you. You can come back for him later.
Oh, you don't understand. We've not been sent here to help him. He has been trespassing as well on grounds where he's not supposed to be. And we are not very happy with him right now, you see.
But see, I am wealthy beyond your wildest dreams.
I can see that.
I'm quite sure that trespassing is not a problem in any kind of, way that can't be helped.
I take out of my pocket one of my little bits of, one of my nuts that I carry around with me. And I look at this woman, show her the nut and go, your wealth. I think this. And I just throw the nut aside. And then I begin looking outside the windows and seeing if I can see anything.
There are cracks and high narrow windows that you can look through in this direction, and she's obviously pointing to somewhere here.
Why is he there? Why did he leave you?
When you come here, you happen to bump into whomever is lying bound and gagged with a bag over the head on the floor, and the person moves a little bit but doesn't seem to wake up.
What is that thing? Why have you done this? Did you this?
No, it's another one of those creatures. She came, told us to turn back, to not disturb the ruins, and then she got angry and violent.
Did you do this? Did you bind her up like this?
No, not me, but my friends did, yeah, because, I mean, we have come here, we have paid a lot of money to get here. Of course we're going to explore the ruin.
And where are your friends, I wonder? Are they with Uldo?
Maybe.
What does that mean? Did they leave together?
Yeah, they left together and then something happened and I don't know exactly where everyone is right now, but...
What happened?
I don't know.
Did you get separated then? Did you set these traps?
I mean, I have never... I am like the boss of this expedition. So they went ahead to scout it. I waited here for them to I don't know, find interesting stuff and then say that it's all clear and I can, So I just waited here with, and actually my main task here was to guard that creature.
How many of you are you?
I fear it's just me now, but it was me and two of my friends.
I immediately lean down, I get out a little knife, and I immediately begin releasing the shackled
Uhuglas, I tried to stop you. Can you maybe perhaps...
Don't do that, she's dangerous.
Maybe perhaps have a look first? And I motion for her to just remove the bag from the head. And
Do you have a lantern now, or yeah?
I'll take out the lantern, light it, I'll give you a bit of a glare, but then I will nod. The witch is an elder, although I don't see... And I do not undo the bonds, I just lift up the hood.
Yeah. It's a cloth, like a bag, that's been pulled over the head of what's obviously an elf of the Iron Pact. Bound and gagged by some Ambrian nobles. The eyelids flutter, but she's probably out.
Is she injured?
You can check her for injuries.
As I see this, an elf of the Iron Pact, this is quite serious. I immediately move over and I start examining her, and I help you release her from the bonds, because now obviously both of us know that this is not good. And I get a 4 on the roll.
You're not the healer of your
No,
clan, but you're looking more like for obvious injuries. And you hear that the noble little lady in the room next to yours is sighing, shaking her head in disbelief that you are like that.
And I say to her, this is an elf of the Iron Pact. You have no idea of what you've been meddling with.
Obviously she hasn't, because she just frowns at you. There's an obvious bump at the back of the head, so she's probably knocked unconscious. And a heavy blow at that, because she's probably been out for a while. But she's alive.
After we released her bonds, we tried to resuscitate her and sort of bring her...
I mean, you have herbal cures that you can rub on her wounds.
All right. I'll start doing that then, trying to...
Actually, this young Ambrian woman comes into the room. I mean, she doesn't try to stop you or anything. She moves up to the windows and starts looking out into the darkness. Probably kind of glad that you are here, although it doesn't show. But She's probably been a bit terrified being here all alone. Or she's really afraid of the pig, maybe. I mean, that's also an option.
Well, at least we might appear a bit more capable.
Yeah. As you rub this on the back of her head, on the bump, she comes around. Eyes start to open a little bit. She looks up at you. Obviously, the light is hurting her eyes. You turn away the lantern a little bit.
Hello. Are you all right?
All right. She speaks actually pretty good barbarian tongue. What you've been speaking, because you're used to Ambrian travelers, you have spoken Ambrian with this noblewoman. This elf, she speaks your tongue. So the poor noblewoman, she would probably not be able to follow it when you...
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it still hurts. What happened? I tried to stop them. I tried to warn them.
I am Algaya of Lobaram. I am a witch. We have been sent here.
But you're trespassing.
Yes. We are here to stop the trespassing of this place. You see...
But you're a trespassing witch.
She sits up, glares at the Ambrian woman.
What happened? Oh, there's...
Can you please roll for her and tell me what the dice lands on?
20.
20.
Maybe I stopped them in time.
No, these trespassers have come in. They are in the ruin, and we felt the only way to get them out was to get them out. There's also...
She tries to rise.
And I try to support her.
As she becomes more lively and vigorous, the Ambrian woman, you still don't know her name, starts backing out of the room. She feels probably a bit threatened by the situation.
I will then retreat a little from this conversation with my spear and just be like, stand quiet, like you're not going anywhere. Stance.
Yeah, okay.
And I talk to the elf saying,
She tries to look through the darkness.
a member of our tribe has led some of these Ambrian explorers here, and we have come here to deal with him and to bring him back and to make him answer to his crimes, and also to, well, remove these intruders from this ground.
And the keeper of your clan thought this goblin trespassing was grounds for you to break the taboo?
Well, we thought this might be better kept out of the keeper's affairs, seeing how it's one of our own, and we would rather stop him ourselves.
Oh, you said you're too late? I still don't feel anything wrong.
There is a shade of some sort moving on the ground.
This place is angry. This place is hateful. If they have disturbed the grounds around the old library, I'm pretty sure that we are too late.
I've seen something that I believe...
She falls down on her knees at the... She's like trying to look out.
I say, you stay here, rest. There is something that we must report to the Iron Pact. I believe it is a blight corruption of an Ambrian stalking the ground.
Oh. You should... She looks at you. Can you deal with something like that?
I have never...
By the way... Suddenly the Ambrian woman seems to be keen on being helpful. Over there in that tower, your brother is there. She's pointing, you think, to this tower.
The middle tower.
I saw it happen. I saw everything. I promise. I can help you. I want to help you. And afterwards you can help me look for stuff. Right?
We didn't come here looking for stuff. And we will not
Okay,
lead
but
you
take me
looking
home.
for stuff. We will happily escort you out of this place.
Yeah, and never talk about this situation ever again to anyone.
But I turn back to the elf and I say, we have never dealt with such a creature before. I do not know if there's a particular way of dealing with it that we might need to know of.
She has struggled to rise again, leaning against the window frame.
I haven't seen the creature. You have?
Yes, we did. And I point towards the direction where we saw it, on the sort of south plain.
I mean, if it is only one, you should be able to take it. If you combine your strengths.
What about the others in this? She says they are in a tower. What should we do?
I mean,
we need to confront Uldo and bring him out. And we need to get them out of here as well.
I'm asking if it's allowed. We've already trespassed. Is this allowed if we are going to get them out?
She was here obviously for some kind of reason. Maybe she is some kind of warden of this particular place. And she looks young. You haven't met many elves. Most of those you meet are not very keen on communicating with humans. They are basically in the forest to keep you from doing stupid stuff. And they are dying to make sure you don't. This is probably what you call a summer elf.
So what is your suggestion that we do then?
I will try to help you from here, if I can find my bow.
And I look to the Ambrian.
I suppose it's somewhere here, around here, somewhere.
And you hold up the lantern that we put in there. And
you should wait until light comes, I guess, and then pray that there's only one of them. And we will face it together. Me from here, you from there. And as for the taboo, as long as you are battling the dark that has awoken inside the ruins, I'm pretty sure that both our superiors will forgive it.
And I feel like now I sort of owe this to them, but I still also feel the retingled curiosity along with a slightly less fear of her saying that we might be able to defeat this thing. And I say, good, then we wait for the light and for the dawn.
You could do with the rest as well.
Yeah.
I frown a little and I'll take up a position at that window, watching that central tower, and I'll just sort of sit and suggest that I'm going to watch until daylight.
The elf lets you know that if you want, she has slept for far too long already, so...
I will agree that it maybe makes sense that she finishes up the night so I get some sleep, so yes.
All right. So, aside from the usual snoring of Mortia and the nightmarish ramblings of this young Ambrian lady, the elf wakes you both before the sun has risen. There's a faint light trickling in from above and from cracks in the walls and from the window in the other room. The young Ambrian woman, she continues to sleep. She looks very, very fragile now that she's asleep, not trying to keep up this facade of being the boss of the world. I'm guessing that you ready your equipment.
Yes, and I have a small bite of a fruit and some bread.
Absolutely. You should eat something.
Yes, I have some of my field rations and just sort of quickly chew them down.
Before you leave, you see that she has located her equipment, with that her bow. So, but there is a bit of a problem because she cannot see the courtyard or, well, here. If you want her help in the fight with whatever it is, it has to be like somewhere where she can assist you from. Because even if she could accompany you, she could probably not run away if that were necessary. So it will probably be a good thing if she stayed behind and supported you
Good.
from here.
So we talk about that a little bit. Maybe we should try and lure it out into an open ground then, where you can see it as well. It didn't look at it as if it were about to move anywhere, so hopefully it's still there in the opening where we last saw it. Do we have any ranged attack?
I do, yes.
What do you have?
I have my bow. I am not the best shot, but I have one.
If we scale that, big round tower just south of the northern tower where we're in.
And I motion to the rope and my grappling hook that I have to indicate how we can use this to get up the wall easier.
You can probably get up through this ruin. There are doors and openings on the other side as well. So,
Well then, maybe that's the better plan. And if it would somehow scale the wall and get up to us, then you would have a shot.
yeah, that's a fair plan. Probably doable. I mean, you have no idea what's waiting for you, other than that it's hungry and ravishly so.
I think I heard its voice. It sounded hungry. Yes.
The best plan to do that, so that at least we have time before I have to rely on this, and I tap my spear.
Yes. Well, Mortia, I'm sure will do a good job in holding it off as good as it can as well. So yes, let's make our way down to the tower.
Yeah, what do you do with Mortia? Because she can't climb on the top of walls.
No, she will have to stand guard, preferably in one of the open areas. And I start getting everything ready and to move down.
You start moving down through the tower and out. The sun is coming up, so you have no trouble seeing the way ahead. I don't need you to roll anything if you're not trying to do anything in particular.
We're trying to keep our eyes open, I think.
Yeah. Please roll a vigilant test and tell me the results. I will try to keep it in mind. You fail miserably.
17. Yes. I am focused directly on just moving forwards.
And so am I, it seems.
Yeah.
Mortia.
Succeeds.
Yes.
Yeah, she's not the one failing, at least. You can also roll for discreet, because I believe you're trying to move about without making too much noise.
I failed by 1.
You fail by 1. There's a couple of stones falling, causing a small noise.
I pass exactly.
Yeah, you pass, and
Mortia passes as well.
Yeah. It's just the goblin bodyguard who is drawing attention to you, and maybe danger. You make it into this raised structure and try to find a way, and you can actually scale the stairs inside, what's left of them, but you have to leave Mortia on the ground because it's too damaged for her to make it up there. She's quite the huge pig.
Yes.
So.
Well, she can kind of take care of herself, and in case the thing would actually start reaching for us, I think she would be a good last sort of defense.
Yeah. So you can still stay in telepathic contact with her. So she will live here and try to make her way forward as you move about up here.
And I see her down there as I scale the wall, moving along, sending me glances as well.
Now that you're closing in on this wall, you can absolutely hear that there is something clumsily moving about where you saw this coppery kind of shiny shadow aura last night. Something stumbling, something breaking the twigs of bushes as it's just walking through them.
Does it sound big?
No. Careless.
I move forward a little and try and from any vantage point I can just see if I can, from now or up, see a bit more.
The closer you come, the more of it you hear, and the more you can start hearing the grunts and the moans and the grumblings. It is something up there, and it's obviously looking for something to aggressively attack and possibly devour if it's edible. If you want to get on top on the wall that is closest to the open area where the thing is, you have to use the grappling hook, because you see this.
Yes, I need to throw my grappling hook from my current vantage point over to this wall that overlooks the courtyard, and also is connected to the tower where we believe everyone else is, yes. So, I sort of crack my knuckles a bit, I get my grappling hook ready, and I swing it over my shoulder and attempt to throw it.
This is not a difficult maneuver, so you can roll your accurate and modified by +5. Meaning you have to roll
14.
7.
Yeah. The grappling hook takes hold of the top of the wall. I mean, this does make a sound. And you hear a grunt from the other side.
I freeze up and we exchange a glance just to see, is it moving again, or is it?
Yeah, you hear that it's moving, but it's not rushing or attacking. It's more like something happened. It's moving in that general direction to try to find out if it's something to attack or eat or.
Okay, so when it starts moving again, I nod. Let's try and scale the wall then.
And I will then try to discreetly, as much as possible, scale this wall along the rope, after making sure it's all firmly attached.
You tug at it, it will carry your weight, no problem. And you use one movement action to get to the top. And you do. And the thing before you sees you.
You have listened to a special episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play Lost in the Deep for Symbaroum. Lost in the Deep was constructed by Mattias Jonsson. Symbaroum is published by Järnringen. The music was made by Shellos and Halgrath, and used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more delicious drone and dark ambient. As always, a big thank you to all supporters. If you appreciate the show and want to encourage our work, head over to Patreon and see if you want to support the show there. We hope you enjoyed this special episode and look forward to meeting again. Thank you for listening.